All right, guys, welcome back to Motion RC Live, first episode of 2021, and this will be my first flight of 2021. Might as well film it, and you might have seen on Facebook, I told you I was gonna do it. I customized my ME262, put a 50mm cannon in the nose, and put it in a fantasy, if you will, captured US scheme. I actually had some decals left over from like some A10s and mishmashed a few decal sets, and then weathered it up, clear coated it, and she looks awesome. And we'll talk about it after, but as long as she lives. This will be the first flight of the new year, and it is cold. So let's get to it. Taking off right to left. That nose looks mean.
It does.
And the flying wire, like on the back, is cool too. I'm just doing some ovals here to get started. All right, power off. Look at the gun on the nose. That looks crazy. The people had asked, did it affect the CG? Not at all. But this is the original Outrunner motors. I went back to those. This was the same one I was flying a few weeks ago, where I'd put in the in-runner motors, but they were the wrong in-runners for what the actual high performance is going to come with. So I got another one on the way with the actual in-runners. We'll get out for a new video on the high performance version now. But it's time to be able to change up the old one. Way too close for you. Forgot you got that camera coming right at you. Got the gear, flaps, and we're gonna try for touch and go. Power off right now. Power off. Wow, look how close he got.
He floats.
He floats. I didn't want to touch and go on the grass. I don't trust that grass. Let's try that again. Tap and go.
Tap and go.
I gotta get my bearings right.
Can you feel your fingers?
Kind of. I know they exist.
Because I'm working the focus ring and it's pretty numb.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, the nose looks great.
It really does look so different. And that is, I put a wood dowel through some carbon with a 3D printed part for the base and then for the front of that 50mm cannon. And then all glued together. So it is solid, it's not going anywhere. And it shouldn't shake or anything in the wind. But, you know, I'll end up breaking it off, transporting it on the shore at some point. That's just adding a fixed pitot tube basically on the front of your plane. Never a good idea. But it looks so cool. Full flaps, no power. Nice. It's so mean. Hello everybody, Happy New Year, and welcome to, we're calling it Season 2 or 2021, Episode 1 of our live show this January 8th. So I see everybody in the comment section. Yeah, I told you I would do the 262 here. That was my winter break for me fun because, again, we're going to be updating the videos now that the 262 comes with the high performance fans. I remember I showed you guys I had stuck the wrong in-runner motors in this one itself. Went out to do a video. I assumed it was a high performance, only to find out that the high performance actually has different in-runner motors. So I have a new one in the box behind me, so I said, oh, I guess it's time to take the old one and do something fun. So when I found that you know, looking through schemes and all that stuff, when I saw one with a 50mm cannon stuck out the nose, I was like, you have to do it. And it was the first time I ever experimented with the blue foam that you get at like Home Depot, because you have to, you know, I noticed the whole top of the nose here on those variants of the 262. I think it was like the A4, I forget what it's called. It was like 1A-/U4 or something. Experimental, but anyway, I had done, so I did pink foam, sanded it down, then I went a little heavy with the spackle, and I was waiting like days over these holidays. I would come down, try to sand it, and it wasn't drying right, so it doesn't look good up close, but from far it looks good. I did not just get out of bed, Vic. That's just, I don't worry about my hair, man. And what's it called? You know, so I again, you paint it up, and over time, I didn't need it to look perfect. And I was gonna call Cali because the actual, there is, you know, the experimental versions, there were some that were captured. I was reading up on it. You know, we obviously, the Allies went over, we got into all the factories, so we got to Messerschmitt's place, and we grabbed a couple. And there's one, it's called Wilma Jean it had on the front. It was like a white script. I was thinking of painting it on, but then I just didn't want to wait. So I had a bunch of water slide decals from all various sets. You know, all these Freewing and Flightline models you get. Some of them come with six decal sets, and I save every one. So I just started looking through them. So I went with, you know, so when I saw the A10, because I still have the A10, I saw the snake, and I'm like, oh, I think I'll go with that. So, and then I found the yellow decal somewhere else. These, the fives were actually L39. I cut the black off the edge. But it was odd when you use, so I use the Rust-Oleum. If you guys ever saw it, there's the Rust-Oleum camo spray paint. I had a few cans because I always planned on using it on a plane at some point when I saw them. But it is definitely different than your regular two-time, which I always use. Something about that spray paint that's just, it's not, it doesn't play nice. The regular decals, like I was trying some decals from like a Tiger Cat, or the regular decals where you would stick them on and peel the plastic off the top, it would not stick no matter what I did. So I ended up, water slide was really the only thing that worked. And then I'll show a picture quick, Alex, if you have it, of, this is the way it looked before I clear coated it. So I posted this on Facebook, and you can see it was very like dull, and after I had weathered it, I was like, did I do too heavy on the lines? But man, once you hit it with the clear coat, so I just used a matte finish, and unbelievable, it like darkened it all up and really blended in the aircraft. Then some of the other little modifications, if we get in, so I removed, where is he? If you remember our fun friend who usually comes in the 262, he's awesome. But I got rid of him, and I had a Black Horse pilot sitting there. So I ended up cutting him in, and it fit. It looks pretty good, I think, as far as, you know, scale-wise, because the 262 isn't really as big as you'd think it was in person. Then these are just, this is just a zip tie, because they had the antenna in the back, so I don't even think I glued that in. I just took a black zip tie and put it, you know, in the back. Then this is coat hanger wire, picture hanger wire. So this is actual like metal, but I just popped in two sides of zip ties and stuck it through, and it doesn't pull back out. Little bit of glue. Threw that in, and then I know that there's one more antenna wire that would go down, so I'm going to add that at some point. But overall, I love it. The airbrush, it was fun sitting here and throwing the lines on it. Wesley Miller, I had our video that you helped me on there. I'm like, how did he do this again? You know, with the card. So I used the card going down and just, you know, slowly but surely did it. And then you just start having fun. Like I added some browns to just add a little bits of brown. I put brown over the white. Really makes it look a little more dirty because it wouldn't have looked good. And I think I might even go and dry brush some silver on it and stuff. But overall, super fun playing. And I know, so I went back to my original fans. The fans, they're getting old, but that was the basic Outrunner fans from ever. I just cleaned them, but they still didn't. They don't sound as good as they used to. But I'm excited to get it out next week or in the next 2 weeks. I'll be out there with the new 262. You know, the regular one now with the high performance in runners. So, but yeah, I see John Veer say Weather a Bird. It's so much fun because you can't. I guess you can overdo it, but some guys out there, even when they overdo it, it looks fantastic. And it really comes down to, like, I remember Wes telling me when he was here, just like, you know, you can't really make a mistake. And if you did, I grab a bottle of isopropyl alcohol right after you hit it, just wipe it off, and you could start over again. It's not. You know, it's not a big deal. And it can really hide a lot of imperfections. Like, I don't know if you know, some of these waterside decals, when you put on, the clear parts of it just look awful when certain light hits it. So I was just spraying from far away with the airbrush blacks and browns and dumbed it down. And then when you hit it with the clear coat, it almost goes away. So it looks, you know, makes it look a little better. But overall, it was so exciting to see it out there. I just wish I should have, with this 50mm Canon, I should have made it removable. I didn't, but it would have been smart. But you know, eventually this is gonna bite me for sure. But it's not really going anywhere.
Cool in the slow-mos though that they're seeing right now.
Right? It worked.
It's like a unicorn out there.
So what did I do? So when I initially decided, the first thing I did was like, oh, does Thingiverse have a barrel? Because I wasn't going to take it off of one of the Henlong tanks or something. I was like, I should be able to 3D print it. And I didn't see, I'm surprised that nobody made on Thingiverse just a 16mm, or at least I couldn't find it, you know, a barrel that I could make big or not. So I found a small model of, you know, that like German railgun, the Leopold, I think it was called. The big rail gun that sat on, it was on rail. It was like a train with a big gun on top of it, basically. But somebody had a model of that, and that barrel was by itself. So I printed that out and then just took the back part and then the front part. And then I ended up doing a carbon tube from a spar that I had, and I put a wooden dowel completely through it. Just glued that all together. And then after everything dried, little drill bit that fit perfectly right through the front of the nose, and man, it was fun. I'm excited about it. This is definitely going to be, this is my beater, so this will be coming with me for a while. And I wish I could enter it in the March Madness tournament, because today, when we get to the community stuff, man, Brenheck especially showed out in the new year. A lot of people did, but especially him. It was like 3 jets in a row that he customized in an unbelievable way that we'll talk about. And remember, that March Madness tournament is coming up. And also, remember, the last show we did was our, giveaway, if you will. We weren't even planning on doing it, but we did a little bit. But from this show forward, every show now, we are going to be saving everything we share for a big, end of year. At the end, our end of year show at the end of the year, we could then make a highlight video of everything that we shared from you guys. So we're excited about that. So we did some minor changes to the graphics on the side. Brighten up, want to make you know that it's a different year, if you will, of the show, and some things are going to change. So Alex, smash, if you want to, smash that like button. Are you ready for it? There it is. We were having problems every time, about an hour ago, every time Alex was changing a scene, that would play. So if that plays randomly,
we might be dropping bombs the whole episode.
We're going to be dropping bombs all episode. So yeah, that's really, really funny. So guys, yeah, customize your aircraft. Get with the, I'm using the Benchcraft stuff. I think I still have the Vallejo Air is the paint that I'm using, but you can really use almost anything. But either way, it's worth it. It's worth it when you get a chance. Now I want to go back in. The next one I'm 100% going to weather is this bird. So you guys had seen me do the unboxing. The day I brought this out, the other day, same day, I did some maidens on the P40, and it went well. She flew great. We have the maiden video for the Nexa P40, so you can play that as.
Do you want them to hear you, or you want to just you want to talk over it?
You know what? Let it play for a little bit, and then I could come in, as it goes. But let them hear the prop. It sounds good, but it's a maiden, so bear with me. If I had to do it again, but I figure here we go. In the air it's gonna look fun. All right, here we go. Let's reset my timer. Am I talking during this? I can't hear myself. 4-minute time.
No.
Taking off, right to left.
You might hear me. That's about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. We didn't have the camera on. Let us pray. Oh no, Dad, you can look. I don't crash her or anything. I just gotta get her set right. That's my thing. So I was trimming her out, and then, we'll talk about it when we go back to the stereo. But you'll notice she was very, very pitch sensitive. So so I was figuring out, is she tail heavy or is it just me? But I think I figured it out. So yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I like the way this one looks in the air. It's my first P40. Definitely, Wesley. Tandem flights on balsa all day.
Looks good. How's it feeling to roll? Quick, slow?
A little quick right now.
Quick.
I set up a mid-rate at...
Yeah, I mean, Patrick was asking that, but when I let go of the sticks, like it flew straight and true. I just wasn't putting enough rudder into my turn. Yes, I'm running expo at about 25% expo on everything. That's usually my starting point, especially on a maiden.
I think I'll add some to my aileron.
Yeah, a little mix.
But yeah, when you turn without rudder in this bird, yeah, it all of a sudden that tail like drops. So I really had to stay on, as you should anyway when you're flying a warbird, stay on the rudder. But also I hadn't flown in like 3 weeks. I didn't fly throughout the holidays, so this was like my second flight of the day. Coming back into it with something I've never flown before, so gotta make it fun. Yeah, we could talk about that 3-bladed prop, Wes. Yeah, it's a 15x7 master air screw.
Nice hum, yeah.
I think I spoke about I had to do a little bit of manipulation to get it on.
Yeah, our website had...
Here I'm on my maiden rolling it, and
So I went...
even though
there was no
it still
free
doesn't,
flow.
it's not,
So I was going to go 14x7.
not flying as nice as I wanted it to at this point, but I didn't feel like it would fall out of the sky or anything.
But it was 48 static on the ground. Yeah. At the 65
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear if I'm talking during this, if you hear me talking, so I might be talking over myself, but I didn't have a mic on me.
I am
Was a maiden.
11 pounds. A little over.
I was probably talking to Patrick.
So I bet you guys floating aircraft.
I didn't even realize I went this long. So I set my timer for 4 minutes, and I was basing that off of, I'm running a 6,000 6S pack up front. I remember Patrick was getting 8 minutes on same sized Hurricane from Nexa. So I felt 4 minutes was probably the middle, so I'd be there.
Oh, okay.
On flaps, I don't have...
Yeah, Nate, that's basically it. Like I'm, I was used to that 0, but I was, this is a different type of warbird than the 0 or the flight line ones like the Spitfire and the Corsair, would just feel a little different.
Looks good, I'll just take it.
Oh, is this my landing? So I said I was gonna practice the approach, or I was just gonna take it. I think is what I told Patrick. Because I'm always afraid with these birds is, you know, how do they slow up? I don't want to misjudge it. I'd rather land fast on a maiden than... Woo! 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 Alright, so she got down, and then we ended up doing a couple more flights thereafter. I see James Bone. Did it feel different when the wheels came down? No. When it flew straight in two. So what I think my issue was, and I couldn't go the field. I put up another 2 times, and I was messing with my rates. Like, I lowered the rates on the elevator. I just, for some reason, every time I would hit the elevator, it was going, you know, it was just really pitch sensitive. So then I was like playing with the control surface, the back, the horns. I was repositioning my horns, and I flew it again. But then I realized I should go in, and I'll show you underneath if Alex wants to get in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back out with it. But what I wanted more resolution, so I took the entire elevator servo, because I had it on the farthest arm, and I had this elevator servo back against the wall. See the firewall up here? Or firewall, you know. I had them both when I initially installed them. Obviously, I'm not thinking about it. I just put them where it seems like where they would go. So I just moved the whole servo forward. I moved the arm up. So now I have much more resolution on the elevator. So I've played with it since, and I see like I'm getting enough throw here. So I'm gonna go out. We're gonna go out next week again with this setup, and that should help my problem. And I think I'm just gonna throw a gyro into it for the sake of it. As far as nose heaviness, right now she's 9.5 pounds. With that battery roller up, I mean, where they're telling the CG is, it sits perfectly. Like, I believe she's the CG is all right. I mean, I guess I could always add a little more weight to the front, but I wasn't planning on. I would rather try this setup first and see if I like it, because when I was given the rudder and the turns, and when I started to get used to it in more successive flights, she felt great, other than the fact that every time I was telling her, I was all right, coming in for a straight pass, and normally it just stays straight, I would go up or down or something, and that could just be, you know, I have a wiggle on my right thumb no matter what I do, but I just couldn't get it to fly perfectly straight the way my other warbirds have, the way I know I can do it and have done it. So that's what I'm going to try for this one before we do a proper flight review, but, you know, all in all, I love the way she looks. And yes, that prop, so I went with a 15x7 master air screw. I painted, because Jeremy Salt, when I showed him, he's like, you better paint the tips yellow. You better paint those tips yellow. So yeah, I painted.
You can see it in the slow-mo, they look real nice.
Looks great when it speeds up. You have to do it. And I left it bigger, like, so I pitched down rather than shrink the diameter to go to a 3-blade versus the recommended 2-blade, because I wanted the size on the front. So the only thing I had to do, for whatever reason, the length of the prop shaft, based on where I ended up positioning the motor, the master air screw, the hub is really thick. So I couldn't get the nut over the hub once the prop came in. So I had to just drill out the middle a little bit to get it to fit, and then, it's on there and it's not going anywhere. And I ran it up outside a bunch of times to make sure I didn't, destroy the integrity of the prop in any way. But she looks really good. And again, with these Nexa models, the retracts come with it. We're going to release a 3-part series. Will probably start on Monday, because I want to make sure we were hoping to finish the series at the field. But when I go back out again, I have a watt meter, so I'll run it up, show you guys, what I'm getting. And I think on probably the flight review flight, I may just leave the watt meter inside the plane as we fly, so then I could give you that on the video, because that's really important. Now that I got it, I can't not use it. Yeah. It's awesome to really know. But hopefully that happens next week. But this video is going to be 3 parts. So we're going to do a full unboxing and talk about the specs. Then the second video is just going to be a step-by-step assembly, which should hopefully help people get an idea for pretty much all the Nexa birds, because most of, at least the single-engine warbirds, will all pretty much have similar things to them. So it could help somebody just get an idea for the package and, you know, how they go together. And that one's like 30 minutes long. You know, it takes...
It's a beast.
It's a long video. That's why we didn't want to do one full unboxing and assembly video. It would be like an hour long, and I just can't do that. That's just like...
I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't have Alex do that. And then in the flight review, we'll probably fly it 2 times, but then we'll definitely go over the CG and all that stuff when it happens. But overall, I'm excited about it, and once this one gets, you know, done, then I will customize it, weather her up, and do all that. So what am I seeing here on thing? Good point, Justin. Any plane with the gear retract backwards, I always say CG with the gear up. Yeah, I CG with the gear up. I rather have the CG with where the plane's going to be for a majority of the time. But yeah, these gears are really light. But I didn't have to add any nose. You know, Patrick's flying his. He said like 12 pounds or something for that Hurricane, which is crazy to me because I'm at 9.5 pounds. And I just wonder, he said he had to add a lot of nose weight, but he also went with the flight line, like the Corsair and the Spitfire power system. And I think those motors are just a lot less heavy than the Admiral motor that I went. I went with the recommended GP10, and it's a good, you know, it's a good nose weight in there as it goes. But I can't wait to see this one weathered because, you know, it's different. Obviously, this covering's different than, say, that Zero and the Black Horse ones where it's all weathered and really detailed. Like, this one's a little more basic. I love that the panel lines are there, but man, just a little airbrushing is going to make those just pop so much. And so a little dirtiness, especially on the cover. Dumb down the graphics because, again, a lot of these are clear, so unless you cut perfectly around the decal, you know, I didn't do that. Because initially my plan was, I was thinking of maybe just painting the entire thing. But I actually kind of, now I dig it. You know, the Flying Tiger, especially reading up on the history of the Flying Tigers and their successes. Like, now I want to leave it like that. You know, I think they're 297 and 4 or something and kill to death ratio. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. So, yeah, so that was it for that. So I see the conversation. It looks like a lot of people talking themselves. Speaking of airbrushing, when are the Benchcraft airbrush compressors going to be available in the market? Adam, they're definitely coming. All the Benchcraft stuff will be coming to both, you know, will be in both warehouses. And, you know, when I'm live here on the show, I can't check, but that's a question. If you really want to know and get a good ETA, the best thing to do, contact the customer service, EU, Pete Taylor, probably be the guy you talk to over there. He'll give you the best estimate on that, or ask it in Hobby Squawk. Maybe somebody will get on there and answer it. I can't answer those specific questions, but it's all coming. You know, it's all coming. Just shipping, as we all know, has been crazy for everybody. So, you know, things are all on their way. It's just a matter of, you know, are they getting on the ships or not in time? You can imagine the whole world wants their shipping containers because everybody's buying everything online at this point. You know, things they normally wouldn't even buy online. So there's a big fight in getting that stuff out. So it'll all be here though. Definitely, especially the Benchcraft stuff, because that's our, you know, that's our brand, and, you know, a lot of awesome stuff. We added like 600 something SKUs last year, and you could expect way more than that in coming 2021. Benchcraft is going to have everything in there, and it's awesome. I'm excited to see what else we get, from tools to props to, you know, all sorts of little hobby accessories. It's just awesome. It's awesome. All right, so let's move on. So you see the bottom too. Now we added graphics to the bottom, so if you ever go back to replay this video, now you definitely should know what we're talking about as we go. So we are in Hobby Squawk. So again, remember, if you show up at any point in this show, then you are automatically entered to a potential win at the end of the year. And who knows, maybe we'll play with mid-year giveaways and things like that. But let's start, I like where Alex is going here, with SoCal Bob. So this was an interesting post, just came out in our tank forum. So SoCal Bob asks, he's big in our tank forums. He does a lot of tank stuff. But apparently this is an M3. I didn't realize you could buy a conversion kit people sell 3D printed and resin printed conversion kits. So you buy this kit and then you could put it on top of the Henlong Sherman or whatever base you need. So, you know, I guess this is a picture of the, he posted this in here, I don't mind sharing it. This is a picture of the company that makes it, but that would, what it would look like when it's finished. And then let's go to, I think it's Africa. There it is, Africa Corpse. He finished one and has these pictures he posted in a response, and that just looks amazing. So now I'm looking at my Sherman like, do I want to update it to make it look like this awesome M3 tank? And he said there's apparently a software, I mean, tank thing is, people get crazy with the tanks, but there's apparently a software that allows you to manipulate all 3 of those turrets on your transmitter. So I don't even know how that would work, I guess on a switch back and forth, but you can make that first gun go up and down, you can make the one turret swivel, and then you can make the guy at the top swivel, I think, which is just really cool and exceptional. And I'm definitely following, I put the follow on that thread to watch those 2 guys talk about that, because I didn't even know that such things existed, that you people take just the bases of certain tanks and just change the top to create a whole new tank. So now that I know that, now I immediately have a new want, and that's how this happens, right? I wish I hadn't stumbled on that, because then it gets you in trouble. So now this is Paul R. Kitech. Now a lot of these pictures all coming in the link in the description of this video, guys. If you share it there, I'll share it here. So this is actually a Dynam ME262, but since I was doing a 262 today, I just thought it looked awesome that he customized that, and in the way he did, that looks real to me. He said, I don't know if he said if it was a real scheme that he found or not, or he kind of just fantasized it, but that looks pretty awesome, so good on him. And then he had a T28, which, again, that scheme's crazy. You're not going to have a problem with, you know, visibility on that. Maybe orientation, but visibility, you'll be fine there. So great work by Paul. Kicking things off here for the planes. Then M-Shag, are you here? I haven't seen M-Shag in a bit, but he posted this in there last night, and he had a mishap with his F-22, but he turned it into the fantasy, probably the eventual destination of the F-22s maybe at some point, but into the Thunderbirds F-22. I feel like I've seen this at some point. People have done this before, mostly with the F-35s, but that looks fantastic. I think the scheme, the red, white, and blue, big, nice and white, makes it look like a brand new airplane again. So that's perfect. Nice. Oh yeah, Paul Architect. That's it. I'm so sorry, Paul Phelps. I was, you know, I looked at that. I was like, is this the name that somebody had said on there? And you got to bear with me. There's so many names and so many things. It's so hard to. But now hopefully that'll be burned into my memory. So that was Paul Phelps. Great work there, man. Keep sharing it up. And, you know, next time maybe a motion plane would be even better. But I'll take it. It's awesome. It's a good share. Then you got Justin Link. So he had posted this. I don't know if he posted it to Facebook, but JLink125. So this is one of a few more custom MiGs coming. But the German scheme, he's out there with Brent Hecht. And I believe they, you know, they're friends. They fly together. So they both did theirs, and you'll see in a little bit. This looks fantastic, and they just get better as they go. So, but Justin, excellent work on this German scheme. Love it. Would love to see it in the air. You gotta get out there on the day that RC Geek, because I don't know if RC Geek takes the pictures that popped up from Brent. But, you know, he'll make it look real. Whoever takes those pictures, when it's in the air, it looks unbelievable. But I can't wait to see them together, too. This will look great with Brent's coming up. Awesome work. Absolutely awesome work. And this was the first time I painted camo on a plane, and it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Especially doing it with a rattle can. You have to go in there and just edge it off with a foam brush. That's what I was doing anyway. So if you're doing it with actual, you know, tape and stuff, probably even harder. Then Gillitrout shared this. Leaves F-16 looking good. Just one picture, but I like that. I always like the colorful tails. It pops out. And then this comes from Chris. His Hobby Squawk name is just CHRYS. So I don't know if there's an existing person with a different YouTube name in our chat if this is you, but another awesome scheme. I believe is that Czech scheme? Sometimes people just
Say
post
a country
pictures.
and everyone
Say,
will let you know if we're wrong or not.
Let me know. Just throw a country out there, but I'm forgetting. It's the same as I think it's the MiG. I think our MiG-21 has that roundel on it. I forget sometimes. You see so many over the times, and then when you're live, your brain just doesn't work the same when you're live as when you could actually sit down. John, man, John is getting the itch. You better get an airbrush like today and some rattle cans and get started. But I love this. So on Chris's, look at that. I believe that's a light he put on the front there. Like he definitely manipulated the front of his canopy in a big way. He did some excellent detail work all around. And again, I don't know if I expected the MiG was going to take on an AL-37 or an F-18 life of customizations, but
I'm psyched it did.
yeah, I'm glad it did, though, of course. I mean, guys are always going to do some things, but you know, the level of detail happening, and maybe just because it's so big, it's easier. But I love the map. I mean, he added a map. Imagine being in a MiG and pulling out a map. I would. I'm just saying, all right, where are we going? This is awesome.
Take the wheel for a second.
Take the sticks. Oh, there's no way to take the sticks? Okay, let's just pull that out. Oh, the infrared system on the front. Sorry, he didn't light up in the front there. I thought maybe he put a light in there, but either way, so he put an infrared system. The detail work just to put that on there, awesome. So does that take us through some of the things we found on the Squawk?
Yeah.
Should we splash that like button before we
You guys want to smash that like button?
splash that like button?
Splash it.
I was hoping it would pop up more when we just
I think I
wouldn't
got
do
it under control. Hold on, let me see if we can do a bombing run.
Bombing run, get it in there.
If you guys like what we shared in Hobby Squawk, go ahead and
Smash that
like
like
button and subscribe.
It's so funny. I said Alex needs to add a little drone chasing it behind there so it doesn't look good, but that's unbelievable. It was a Czech Republic camouflage. It was, with awesome 3D printed details. So that's all. Pilots fly with maps still. Even in a jet, you're going to pull out a map. That's unbelievable. I would just think tech has taken over. But hey, pull out a map and let's go.
Crazy, yeah.
I think the last time I used a map was like 98. Like driving somewhere, like to actually pull out a real map, or when you used to print out the MapQuest directions and then you'd have to find the third page, you know, before you could look at your phone. That was what I remember. That was the end of MapQuest.
Is it working, Air
was
Guardian?
it.
He's watching the bombs drop and the likes are going up.
Drop them like bombs. It's so funny. Nobody actually shares though. Who shares? It's always just, you know, like and subscribe. I don't know how many people
share.
actually.
We share a lot.
We share. Yes, we share. But that's a whole different story. All right, moving to the Facebook customer community. So if you're not in the Facebook customer community, I suggest we just passed over 8,000 members, which is crazy. It seems so. Some days you sign. I look at it. We have 100 requests I got to go through, and I don't accept everybody. You better answer the questions in there, but it looks fantastic. So let's start with John. So John, you had a little issue on Facebook yesterday. Sorry, I deleted 2 of your posts. I didn't mean to. I didn't realize it was an old crow, but you had so many other posts. But then don't get aggravated about Facebook community. You have
It's just us guys.
It's just us guys. You know, we do our best. But either way, man, you did an excellent job. I know you had a mishap with her well after the maiden, but you should know that, you know, the second you customize something on a plane, you know, warranty that the fact you should do this after you maiden. You know, it looks fantastic though. This might be one of the prettiest Corsairs we've ever shown on here. The work is exceptional. And, you know, I'm so happy that it was a minor mishap and she's going to live and she's going to be fine. But the bombs on it, this looks unreal. And, you know, touche, my friend. This is fantastic and definitely a worthy adversary for, you know, potential winner. because I don't know how I'm going to work this. I don't think at the end of the year I'm just going to pick one from each episode. I think we're just going to go through and pick the best of the best. So if everything comes from this episode, then so be it. But you, John, this should definitely go into the March Madness tournament in March, because that's a whole separate thing from the live show stuff. Anybody who has your customizations, get them ready by March 1st. Because that looks fantastic. And I'd love to see it in the air, John. If you have somebody who could take a picture when you're flying her, that would be awesome. So hopefully you do. Jeremy Salt, then if you guys saw, now a lot of these pictures you're seeing because I didn't go through the community on the New Year's Eve show from the week before. So I went back to Christmas Day and I just started going through everything from on the customer community posted from December 25th or later. So I remember I think we shared the pictures on the ground. We never shared the in-air AWACS that Jeremy Salt did. Looks gorgeous, and
this third shot right here with the mountains in the background,
like that's
tell
real.
me that's not real.
That
Yeah,
could
exactly.
be real, just on a long lens from far away. If I could do it again, I might have moved out to Utah
Yeah, right?
rather than down to Georgia, because the flying sites there just are stunning and unbelievable work. But now an AWACS won the March Madness last year. I wonder if this version, but again, now with the March Madness tournament, an individual person can only get in once. And if you submit more than one aircraft, you leave it to us to pick which we think is your best.
Don't leave it to us.
Don't leave it to us. So, you're going to see a lot of guys have a lot of great custom aircraft. Don't submit all of them and think, because we might pick the one that you don't think is the best. Pick the one, only submit it once that you think is the best.
Start thinking about your picture now.
Yeah, and start thinking about your picture now. How do you want it to be shown? Remember, if it's in your garage, it's not going to look as good as if it's out in the sun, with the sun to your back. Let's make sure it's the one you really, really want. So now who's this? This is Jeff Cheek. So Jeff Cheek posted, so I forget what scheme this is. I think it's on the smaller MiG, the Arrows MiG. I believe it's on like the Su-30, the Su-30. Why do I keep doing that? I keep saying SU.
Put $1 in the jar.
But
Put $1 in the Su jar.
Put $1. I need $1 in a
SU jar.
I need a Su jar, an SU jar. I forget what it's called, but it's obviously a show bird. But I put it on the MiG-29, and it looks fantastic. It's a beautiful scheme. It reminds me of like our L-39 scheme, like that. Anything that's a red, white, and blue or Thunderbirds, it's easily to see, and it looks awesome. But he put it on the big one, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, Jason Sparks. Just some pictures of a regular MiG, but they were beautiful pictures. So
I think it's Sprinks.
I'm gonna show it. Jeff Sprinks. Spinks?
Sprinks.
Spinks. Sprinks?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. My last name is awful anyway, so if I butcher yours, don't mind me. But beautiful. I mean, out there in the snow. But I love these up close shots. I mean, getting these full frame are always awesome, and it always looks real when you get these gorgeous shots. Then I saw Dirk Streefkirk. Dirk Streefkirk, this is not easy. This is not easy today. Can we restart this section? Dirk Streefkirk with another airliner, but another awesome, fantastic paint job. And if you guys have seen this is awesome. Hamilton saying lol. That's so funny. What's up, Hamilton? How you doing, man? I was watching your show the other night. Sorry, I don't always comment because I don't want to end up getting stuck having to sit there and talk. But I'm always watching. But he's got a good show there, Hamilton's Hangar. Definitely check him out. But this is awesome. Fire Service AL-37. I just love the schemes. There's always another one. They're never gonna end. I don't think we'll ever find a conclusion on AL-37. Then I saw somebody found a picture of an AC/DC AL-737, and he's like, "Should I do it?" Yes. Yes. You better do it. You have till March to get her done. Then we had Dan Gillespie. This is an awesome. I wish he had more pictures of it, but I love the black Venom. I think that looks really nice. I like a black plane. I don't mind the bubbling, or the bubbling effect that can happen. Just take care of it. Keep it out of the sun. But Some black planes are worthy. They look cool, especially on something different because you're so used to seeing that Venom in the silver or in our Swedish, the red and white. It looks cool when it looks mean when it's like that. Jameson, you could paint an AL-37. It's not hard. Look how many people have done it. Look what I did to this too. Get a paintbrush and go nuts, man. Or call Callie. Leave it white and let Callie do the work with the decals. It's pretty easy in that sense. Then we had Charlie Radford. So I think he posted these in Squawk 2, but I saw it. I happened to come across it on the community. Again, another German MiG, and this one just radically different than some of the other ones we've seen with the, is that red or orange? I get colorblind with it, but you know, the yellow, the black, you know, you're definitely not going to mistake what that is with the card, the graphics. He finally finished up. He was posting updates through, so I just found the one. But again, see, now this is an example for the March Madness. This plane is probably gorgeous, but is this picture, you know, in where it is, the best light that we're going to see it in? I was like, get this plane outside on the grass or on your runway at your field with the sun to your back on a beautiful day.
Get on your stomach.
And then
lay
take,
down next to the plane.
You know,
and
or
get the shot.
Or you want to top down because you got to see the effect. You know, you might lose all of it if you're too low, but you know, definitely not there because if you see what you're competing against, the picture's got to look good. Because remember, it's not even it's not just for us to accept you. Remember, the March Madness tournament is voted on by the people. So you got to make sure. Hamilton, the last 2 years we've done a March Madness tournament. So we'll get, 100 or so entries. And then I pick the top 64. I make a bracket. And I let the people vote. And they fill out their brackets in full. And then I go through and we count the votes. We have a system that counts them. And a winner gets determined the way March Madness would work based on, the most people who pick the most, if you had the most votes for whoever you're up against. And I tried my best to divide them. So, if there's 4 MiGs, I'll put 2 of them against each other in the first round, let's say. So then, if there's 4 Corsairs, then those 4 are going to fight in the first round somewhere. And it's on custom aircraft. Yep, it's on custom Motion RC. It has to be a Motion RC plane, and it has to be customized. Or helicopter. I don't know if we're going to get into boats yet, but, it has to be an aircraft. So last year we had 2 helis, or 4 helis got entered in. The 64 get chosen by us, but we'll talk about it as we get closer. It's fun. And this year I'm going to make the prize even bigger than it was last year. So we're going to have some fun with it. There's a couple of runner-up prizes and things like that. So it's always fun. And maybe if I get enough, it's funny, if I get enough entries, maybe we could do an NIT bracket. So you didn't make the top 64. You're the bottom 64, but you know what? We'll have a little prize maybe. Because who doesn't love voting? I think it's fun to actually just go through and vote on, because it's hard. People sit there, you're looking at an A-10 and you're looking at a MiG-29 eventually, and you're like, they both look awesome. Yeah. Which plane is going to win? And last year it was an AWACS. Joey Jorgensen took it down over I want to say it was an F-14? I forget. The finals was, it was a good final round. But either way, yeah, man, it's fun. NIT bracket. I always call the NIT the not in tournament. That's what it means. Like, I know it's like some invitational, but it's like, who watches the NIT? If you don't make the final 64, we're just giving away trophies to give away trophies. We need 112 people in the playoffs. But either way, moving on. So Bren Hecht. So if you guys saw,
smash that like button.
You're gonna freak me out now. It's just gonna come up at random times. Here we go. So Bren Hecht did, so this is just the first. The work he did on these, so this is a free wing A4 that he customized into Blue Angels. I've seen this numerous times. Patrick has one. I've seen Steve Hodges's. Look at the reflection just in this picture on the wing. Like the work, it looks glassed. It looks completely unlike any other version of this I've seen. And the work he did to the gear and everything, unbelievable. And the pictures, there'll be more pictures coming up of it in the air they got. He's out there with the RC Geek. You know, they're good friends, I know, and they customize things together. These are absolutely unbelievable. And Justin Lamb there, he knows them, and I'll show you in a little bit when we get to the YouTube section. Brent Hecht has his own channel, and at least for this one and the next one, which is the P80, so he took the T33 and made it into a P80 conversion. I mean, this might be the...
That looks awesome.
This might be the winner.
Awesome.
This looks like it's stock. This should be just on the Motion RC website, as is, and you could just buy it plug and play. This is...
Yeah.
But this is a T33 that he cut and made into a P80, which I believe was the American's first jet, and just absolutely unbelievable. It's crazy. The work he did, and there's the RC Geek. You know, definitely check him out. Of course, everybody knows Chris, and you know, they just exceptional work coming from there. But I believe he takes the pictures. You know, speechless on the work. But he does have his own channel. His YouTube channel is Hecht Speed, HECHT space Speed, and we'll show you. You know, I just have a brief little cut up later of he goes around his P80 and he goes around the Skyhawk, but then he also did a German MiG, like 3 in a row. So this is how his holiday was spent, you know, and a lot of time. So this is, I believe was this the MiG that we had shown flying? Justin, you would know, or did he have a second MiG for this? But I think he just took the one that we've seen now for the last month, where he was flipping it around and doing inverted flat spins. But he just went out and customized it, and this looks unbelievable. And then obviously he's got the RC Geek center burner inside.
Oh man, for the center burner, go ahead and drop the like.
Drop the like for the center burner.
Drop the like for the center burner on that shot.
It's got to have a sound. We got to put a sound to it to make it even more funny. But that's awesome. I love that. I love that highlight. And a little fire. I told Alex we need fire on the bottom right of the screen when it drops. But I mean, just look at these pictures. I don't even have to talk. They speak for themselves. That looks fake. So that's photoshopped clearly. But you know, unbelievable. And there he is, eyes closed and all. The legend, the now legend of just an unbelievable you know, way to kick off the year with these. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy these? These are unbelievable customizations, and you know, I was floored when I saw them posted, because they're really, really unbelievable. Yes, and he's right. It was the same one he was doing the inverted high alpha stuff with. So awesome. Awesome, Brent. And yeah, I don't know which one of those you're going to enter into the March Madness. Don't let me choose, please. Don't let me choose, because I feel like I'd have to take the MiG over the...
We're going to get like 3 different
P80.
versions of Brent, like wearing different hats. And Hecht.
3 different names.
Brent Becht.
Who's Hecht Brent Becht? Hent Brecht. All right, so moving along, guys. Oh, watch out for this Black Horse HE111 coming from Wesley Miller and Papa Boozer and Lori at the Merry Boozers channel. He posted some pictures of these and the Papa Dots. I did the dots on the 262. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I Papa Dotted the heck out of mine, but check out some more of these pictures. He got in really awesome. So that's added detail to the Black Horse HE111, and when you get, there's even some close-up shots that look stunning. So they're perfecting their dotting you know, strategy. He's told me they're doing like silver and with a little black inside, but either way, to do all those panels. I dotted this plane. It took me about a half hour, but I was going quick with a Sharpie. I was just dotting, because the one thing about the 262, it has raised rivets on it, so it was pretty easy to know where they go. I added some where I believed they would go, but you know, I remember when Papa dotted my still flying birdcage Corsair. It took him like all night at Jonal. He was just sitting there as we were, you know, having a few drinks at night, and he just had the fuselage on his lap, and he was just knocking them out, and it still looks awesome. But you know, unbelievable work there. Then for the new year,
Oh, I just dropped a bomb.
You just
dropped...
dropped...
Because I'm typing in chat and I hit J.
J is the button for the bomb. That's so funny. You just dropped... Might as well drop that like button. So the Facebook community, moving on. I believe this is Tolga. You guys have seen he does excellent work as well. So this was his first drop of the year, doing some weathering. This was, he said, mid-process, so we'll get a finished product as it goes along. But doing some weathering to his Bronco. And I like the effect. Again, when you just, even the most subtle stuff, you know, you don't notice it when you're doing it, but then when you take a step back, you can really tell. Sometimes even best too. We got another what?
Another map.
Another map? Oh yeah, Tolga's he's gonna add the map. See, now this one makes sense. There's a second guy in the background. I don't know how he'd reach that map, or the first guy grabs it. But a plane like this, I can see you flying slow. You're observing. You know, it's yes. Then I want my map. But you know, MiG-29, man, you're going too fast to use a map. That was where I'm at with that. But it looks awesome. I can't wait to see how he finishes it. But I would say, like what I did with the 262, I took pictures of it beforehand, and then I was looking back at my pictures as I was detailing, because sometimes you're too into it. Just saying, am I going too hard, if you will, you know? You want it to be subtle at times, but either way, Tolga does excellent work. I can't wait to see how he finishes that up. Moving along, save any of your questions, guys. We have a whole questions and answers section. So, you know, any questions you have, like sales, no, we have no sales coming, but, you know, other questions, save them for the end. Moving along, Ozzy Polt saw this pop up from the He Flies, obviously. I believe it's the St. Augustine RC Flyers Club. It's a good
detective work.
The good detective work there with my Batman skills. But nice A4 Skyhawk. Can't beat that. Cool scheme, of course. I feel like I might have seen this scheme in you know, on others, but either way, it looks phenomenal. And good positioning, good lighting, good, you know, good. Like it in front. Good promotion for the club. So Ozzy, thank you for the share. Then we just had your basic, but I love this plane. This is a Black Horse model that I eventually will want to get because I like the weird, and nothing beats it like the DO335. That's something about it. I just like the idea that somebody's like, how are we gonna get more speed probably? And like, let's try another prop on it. Yeah, sure. Stick it on the back. Where are we gonna put it? Put it on the back. Let's just like, it was 100% just a bunch of smart engineers like, well, let's see. The math might work, but let's build it. If they're throwing money at this, let's spend it and spend it and send it, if you will. I find this to be, I like these weird aircraft, so I think this is cool. But I think he did do a little customization on the inside because that is a 3D'd out cockpit and such. So I like that. So excellent work. I like seeing that post coming up, but that is one I can't wait to see in person. Yeah, we got a lot, so I don't even know if I'm out of December yet as we're going through. Then we had Mikael Olofsson, double on the Grippins. I believe he also shared the black one in the snow, a little video of it, but these two next to each other really stuck out. They look unbelievable. I wish there were more pictures. Get around it, but you know, like if those two get entered separately by the pilots who made them, they're going to be in the first round against each other. That's what you're waking up for if they make it. Good luck on picking which one you like better, because they both look...
The green one.
Absolutely, you like the green. Well, you're a Jet fan, so green just calls to you. Then we had Michael Rosnick. If you know, normally, you know, he's the guy with the heli pictures, and Delta Dart sent this in here, but he's got his B24 and looking good. In their B25. Hit the like button. There it goes.
Like button.
Hit the like button.
Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't work. Oh, no.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Boom.
Hit the like button. There you go. So B24, though, looking good. Little, like, silhouetted, dark. He does some great customization on his heli, so you would expect that from his planes as well. But some of these shots, the B24 is always stunning when you see it out there. You don't tend to see them as much. Lately, I just feel like eventually they'll pop up, but you know, when you see a nice customized one in the air, it always looks good. And then nice. Love it. Then we had Mac Norwood coming out. So this is like, he posted a bunch of progression shots. There was a time, I recognize the name of Mac. I think he's down in Georgia here. And there was a time where I think he sold off everything he had. He was getting out of the hobby.
I think our friend Jason bought his last F86.
Yeah, I think, yeah. The guy at our club had bought his last F86, and then I guess he got the itch again and got back into it. But this looks awesome. So the F86 with this awesome US scheme, Thunderbird scheme, I can't beat that. I mean, that's a good-looking customization. He slowly got, you see more and more detail got added with each successive post. So finally he finished off with the tanks, and that looks awesome. John VHOC, how about a sweet B29? I'd only accept a B29 in foam if it's scaled to the B24. So I think it would have to be like 3,200 millimeter or something, maybe 3,000 millimeters, I think. So if they could do it, then that's the only thing I'll accept. I will not accept a 2,000 millimeter B29 if it just doesn't look right next to the B24. That 86 is fire, isn't it? Jake Barnes? Yeah, man. That could win the week. That's a great scheme. It looks amazing. Then moving on, I found Johnny Blunt. I don't know if that's it's probably his real name or it's a play on something, but I gotta say it. That's what it's Blount. They were a football player, LeGarrette Blount. I don't know. But T33 looking good in the Canadian scheme, I believe. Love that. Again, just different, It's amazing how much different stuff. And then the last post happened, I popped up about an hour ago as we were getting prepared. And I'm like, Alex, you got to throw it in the show from Kwan Anuncha. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but this F5, again, you don't see some planes just pop up at random. And you're like, oh my goodness, look how cool that looks. I mean, where do we all come from? It's amazing, I love it. I love it. People take a ton of, great stuff. Yeah, airliners. I don't know how many airliners are going to get submitted. We'll see when the March Madness comes around, but they're always popping up. Airliners or the AL37 will, live forever as a customized bird. But that looks, hard to do. I don't even know. I mean, to sit there with the airbrush to get those lines to be right, that's where... that's something you just got to learn. But that looks unbelievable. And even the work on the nozzle in the back.
The weathering on the back is catching
the
my eye
metal.
like crazy.
Yeah, it just unbelievable.
Damn.
Yeah, hit
that one.
Boom! Boom, boom, boom. Hit the like button. So that's awesome. So that'll wrap up the customer community. We're already at 1 o'clock, but we're going to go for a little bit. So got another 15, 20 minutes. The first show of the new year. And we have a lot to cover. And I want to make sure everybody gets in. Jake Barnes, we'll talk more about March Madness. I already mentioned it. You could go back in the show. But March Madness is just, we do fun, custom competition, and we play off of the NCAA tournament. So a 64... If the NCAA tournament is a 64-team bracket, we do 64 of the best customizations that get submitted, and we let the fans vote through their bracket to have some giveaways and awards. So that's what March Madness is in a nutshell. How did I get in this nutshell? Every time I say in a nutshell, I can't not say that. All right, so moving on to YouTube, some of the best from YouTube. Let's start with Remote Control Pat. So if you guys saw this YouTube channel, follow Remote Control Pat. That's Fernando. They got on here a couple weeks back with something different, the Grippin, but he put his T33 on 12S. So now listen to him. Bring up the noise, and I'll be quiet because he sort of explains it.
Let's see what she does here. It's got a crazy sound though at altitude. Really clean. It's 50%. That's 50%.
Now he comes around and whips it. The last pass.
Pat, you might want to come up on this one. Check it out. Let's see what she got. Look at that vertical.
unbelievable. Like it's boogieing. So if you watch his video, go check that video out, I suggest, because Fernando does a little talking at the beginning and explains that how he has to lower the speed because there's not enough intake there to, it's just choking the airplane, but he takes off at like 40% throttle and it looks like a full throttle takeoff on a normal T-33. It's just so ridiculous. I'm just glad his wings didn't like rip off at that point, but that was awesome. Have a good weekend, Corsair Smitty. But that was the T-33, Jared. Just your basic T-33, but he put on 12S, obviously upgraded the system and stuff, but it didn't move. Fernando, I met him at Jet Jam a few years back. He's a good guy, and he does some crazy stuff when he's out there. It's fun to see him on a channel. I happened to see him pop up on that channel a few weeks back with a Gripen, where he put it on I forget what system he put it on. But he's always he's one of those that, always looking for a couple extra miles per hour, how some are, but that was awesome. Then I found this Mickey BRC. If you guys saw his channel, this one, he talks to Yoda from a different channel. Definitely go subscribe, but talks all about a turbine conversion in the MiG and a whole lot of more information. Very fun. It was fun to watch, this whole setup. But raise the volume here, because they're about to hear that turbine. It sounds awesome, and, unreal how, real it gets when you add that to, to our MiG here. It's unbelievable. And he's a wealth of knowledge, this Yoda. There's Mickey, so give Mickey a follow. He's right there. Great share there, man. We subscribe. And it's just great information. If you can, Mickey, drop Yoda's channel too. I know it was in you watermarked it on your video, but I only share it from the video that I share it off of. So if you want to drop a link to his channel and information, that's awesome too. So that was unbelievable. Then if you guys want to check it out, for anybody who, if you have like the IX-12, a newer Spectrum radio, the Boozers put out a video programming the Gripen where they had the RC Air Marshal there, and that just went out a couple days ago. So they get into same way I did it with I believe I did one with the DX9 and then I did one with the Futaba, but they're doing it on a radio that I never played with that radio. So they did a great setup there. So if you want to get in on the Gripen and need some help on setup, then that video will definitely help you as well. So good on the Boozers from there, and again, they're going to have that HE111 video coming. Always good stuff coming out of the Merry Boozers channel and RC Air Marshal's channel. You got 2-for-1er on that video. Two YouTubers in one, which is awesome. Then moving on, now I found this one. This Noxie shared this. I believe he shared it on Facebook, but I liked it. Hey man, new channel, just posting a good flight on his OV10 Bronco, and he just did a lot of slow-mo stuff with it. So I don't know if he's using like the iPhone with slow-mo, but it looked pretty good when he comes through, and I enjoyed it. He's slowing it down. Sounds good. I like the passes. I like the way the Bronco looks in the air. It's just a fun model. But yeah, there you go. Some nice. I dig it, and I want to give him a shout out because you're gonna share it. I'm gonna promote you. I gave him a follow, and yeah, love to see what else pops out. So good on Noxie YouTube. It's a space between the U and the tube. So definitely check out his YouTube channel. Then we got KGRC. So I'm forgetting which one was. Oh yeah, loop to landing in the AL-37. On board. I think I just played it twice, just this one part. It was actually looped to touch and go, but in an AL-37, why not? Because why not? You get bored of flying scale, let's loop to landing. I think I play it one more time, but I love it. Like going inverted, then you stick the gear out, drop the flaps, and just give all your passengers that are annoying you in the background get the cart flying down the center aisle and then come in for a landing. Might as well. Go for it. So I love it. That's awesome. And then Just Wing It. So guys, we were going to put this at the beginning, but I feel like Just Wing It's been featured a lot on our channel, but this is the flight of that awesome P80 from Brent Hecht. If you want to check out the full flight, definitely head over to Just Wing It's channel, and you can see it. It flies, fantastically. I'm not sure. I think this might have been the maiden of it, but either way, I'm sure you'll see more on that. Depends on the passengers, Justin. I'm sure there are certain select passengers where you'd happily loop to landing if you could. But this is awesome. So this P80 might be my favorite of those three that he put on there, but loving every second of it. Looks like it flies stellar, and again, that's the one mod where it just looks like the plane already exists as a foam free wing option. Like if that picture of that plane was just on our website with prices in, you'd think it just was always there. Unbelievable. So great work on that. And then go to Hex Speed, actually. So this is just a little bit, guys. He has 2 videos. So this is Brent's channel, where he does each video separately. He walks around the model. So he tells you everything about what he did to them and how he did them. So I just mashed up the 2 videos, but he probably filled these right as he completed them, and they look fantastic. So again, guys, you want to know how to do it like this, then Brent's gonna give you some good information. Especially the way that Blue Angels looks is unreal. But then he's talking about how he cut the T-33 down and made it fit right. It's really, really unbelievable. So I definitely want to share that there, and I think that's it. That about does it for YouTube. So what time is it? It's 1:06. So let's go to our questions and answers segment. I don't think it's going to get old. I think it's only going to get better for the new year. We're going to get more of those like, share, and subscribe buttons in there. But so let's go through, guys, while we're here. Any questions that you have for us in the new year? As far as I know, people have questions about stock. All I can say is everything's on the way. Some things we wish would have got here before Christmas, but as you can imagine, things are just hectic in that department. But other things, any timeline on the TV for the Grit and George, it should be in one of the next free wing containers. There are a lot of them on the way. They are ordered by us, and we're hoping they get here. And as soon as they do, I will show you, because I'm definitely going to be getting the MiG one in, so we could make some videos of flying the MiG on the TV. So hopefully the first place you see it will be here, at least. But I'm going to be getting it at the same time as all you guys. As soon as it arrives to the warehouse, I'll get one sent direct to me from the warehouse. Yeah, and we got to make the page too, so that'll come. So there'll be once we get the page made, you could click the notify me back in stock button. Then you don't have to wait. Then you'll get the email when it arrives. Any events? RC Safari, Chloe. Right now, just Joe Nall. I talked to the guys at Triple Tree, and they're a go. Registration is open. I talked to all them there, and we are planning as of right now. Triple Tree as of right now is the only one that we will go to as long as it's going to happen. It should happen, but that's where we'll definitely be. I haven't committed to anything else yet, just because everything's still so crazy in that respect. So that's it. Alex, you seeing anything else? Stall speed RC. What is a great beginner jet? I mean, it's hard to stray away from the Avanti as a great beginner jet. The T-33 is a great beginner jet. If you wanted to go smaller, like the BAE Hawk or the Rebel, are great beginner jets, at least on our end. Or you go into the 64s, but sometimes I find 64s hand launching jets, it doesn't really equate. I don't think you should ever start with a jet, but once you know how to fly and you can orientate yourself, I would always try to get a jet that, a little bigger is going to fly a little better and be a little more stable. But you can't go wrong with the Avanti, probably, as the best one to get started with. You'll love it. Oh, Pearl Jam, yes. Rest in peace to Frank Sciano, guys. If you don't know who he is, he's a hobby giant. He passed away this suddenly. I'm not sure. I'm going to assume it was suddenly because he wasn't that old, I don't believe. But yeah, he was the founder of Zap Glue. He was the founder of the Top Gun tournament in Florida. He was a writer for probably numerous magazines throughout history, and so many people posted of their time that they met with the guy. That was very, it was very sad to hear. I never got a chance to meet him myself. We did email back and forth for different things at different times, but I never got to actually meet him in person. So it was sorry to hear that that happened. So hearts go out to him. He definitely was an RC legend, if you will. And that's rough. And then also Ran Groomer, guys, if you see in our Motion RC customer community, Ran makes the light burner EDF afterburner. But him and his family are dealing with a big cancer right now, and they have a GoFundMe on our Facebook page that I shared. I saw it pop out. Just another guy who can benefit from the the help of the community. And from what I saw from the time I found that GoFundMe, that it was shared with me, and it went from like 80,000 in donations, and the next day was up over 130,000. So. That's awesome. He's the father of 3, young guy, big in the hobby, and just, one of those things that everybody probably knows somebody who's dealt with that in their lives. And it's hard to hear, especially around, this time too. That just stinks all around. But we hope Frank's family, and we wish the best to Ran and everything he's going through. So if you can donate, definitely donate something. Whatever you got, $1, anything is better if you can. But is the Flightline Spitfire a good beginner plane? No. You wouldn't want to begin with any Warbird tail dragger. Shot drones, that's something Shot Drones asked. Tail dragger's not where you want to be at. If you're starting out, you want a trainer airplane. We have a section of trainer airplanes, usually something with a tricycle landing gear, a high wing cub, something more boring, if you will. You never really want to start with that. Jameson. No, we'll probably go to Fall Null, Jameson, but the only one we're committed to right now is regular Joe Null.
Let's see Joe Null go
Yeah,
off.
let's get back to Triple Tree first, and then and then we'll get down to what's it called? Then we'll probably go to Fall Null. But as of right now, that's probably the only ones that we have committed. I know there's a jet show coming up in Florida. I don't know if we'll be able to make it to in February. I would try to get down myself, but as a company, Joe Null will be where we'll be at. Definitely if it goes. I'm not going to Joe Null. Let's put it that way. So there we go. But yeah, as James said, Spitfire's amazing in the air, but as a beginner, it's not about the air. You can mess up your Warbird just taxiing wrong. If you take off with not enough speed, you're going to torque it over. Like, any Warbird in the air is pretty much going to fly well, but, you get on a trainer. Get on a trainer plane first. What gyro system do you recommend for most of your EDF jets? I fly a combination of our Admiral Stability Plus gyro, depending, or we have the Hobby Eagle gyro series. So all 3 of them work great. They're easy to set up. I made videos that still live on, and they're pretty comprehensive videos on each one. Shows you everything you need to do to get them, to get them started and going. But the Hobby Eagle gyros are pretty darn good, and they'll get through what you need. But again, the Admiral would just be, if you fly in Spectrum, then the Admiral's going to work for you as well. And then you get both the receiver and the gyro in the same one. Stall speed. You could put a gyro on anything. A gyro is going to benefit any plane. It doesn't fly the plane for you, but...
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Hit the like button for gyros, like bomb for gyros. But, that's awesome. So, gyros don't... I'll put them in... There's one in this that I actually forgot. I'd taken off and realized, I have a gyro in there. It's on so small that I always forgot that it was in there. But, But I'm going to probably add one to this, even though it'll fly fine without it. But I'm just thinking, in the air, why not have it? I see Mickey every time the bombs go, he drops a ha ha ha. That's really funny. But are you guys ever going to come out to California? I would love to. It's just logistically, like to bring product out there to go to a show and stuff. It's just tough. But I'd love to get out there, at least to the Utah section. St. George was one I wanted to go to. But right now, it's just... saying you're going to go anywhere with just the way the world is right now doesn't.
It's wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking. Let's get back to some sense of normalcy, and then we'll worry about getting out there. But I'd love to get like Arizona Electric Festival, February 12th to 14th. It's just, it's only a month away, so it's just planning that while we're trying to do anything out there.
And
Is there
skipping
any?
Valentine's Day?
Yeah, skipping Valentine's Day. Scott, is there any good stall jets? I don't know if those two things go together, but I know my Venom takes off in like 2 inches. This takes off in like 10 inches. Like some of them take off really fast, but I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna land one like a Carbon Cub, but that would be awesome. Yeah, 90mm Harrier jet would do it, or a F-35, conversion. That would work. What's up, Jeff Customs? I see him in here.
Oh, did you want to call out our...
Oh, yeah, and guys, if you notice, especially you EU guys, we just started, so we're going to start posting here, but we started a Motion RC EU Facebook page and Instagram account. So, obviously, both warehouses have some different products. There are some products we can't carry in America that we could carry in the EU and vice versa. So we're going to be posting to and growing this community. So if you want information, so mostly the posts are going to come from things we have in that. So you're not going to see like Black Horse planes won't be posted on the Facebook page. We just get a lot of people, in the EU who, obviously you see things get posted to our Facebook group, and it stinks. There are things that, we don't have for you guys that we can't offer you guys unless you buy it from the U.S. warehouse. That's up to you, but we know that's more pricey. So, the EU site will hopefully grow, and eventually what I'd love to do is have an EU version of Alex and I over there making videos in Europe. That would be amazing. So, hopefully that's coming in the future as well, because it can't just be me. I can't do it all, man. This is crazy. But that would be awesome. So, any other questions that I'm missing? Not skipping Alex, making it... Oh, I see 410, Pterodactyl, MotionRC. Latin America, who knows? Maybe I would think more MotionRC.aus. Is there .aus? That would be a big one. I know people would love that in Australia. But I'm sure, man, we just dominate the globe. MotionRC.earth is what should happen. But that would be awesome. Move to Europe. That was...
Only if we could hang out where Frode lives.
Yeah, if we could hang out where Frode lives. Yep, at that field, that would be great. But I'd love to do a European tour. I'd love to get out there as well. But right now, who knows? Who's going to let us in anywhere? Who's going to let us leave America at this point? There we go. So that's about it. So then in closing, might as well just throw it up there. Yeah, guys, I think this is about going to do it for the first show. Oh, Olsen Aviation Crew Chief. Will Motion have a bind and fly in the future? Stay tuned. You never know. Everything is coming, as Alpha would say. But Victor is a new jet coming for summer. I mean, when is there not something new coming for summer? There's always something new coming. I have something new. I have a lot of something's news behind the camera. But when it is time to let you know, this will be the place where I let you know. Trust me, it'll be a fun 2021 for sure. And guys, I thank you so much for joining us on our first episode. So I'm calling it 2021 episode 1. I'm going to try to have to come up with a better thing. And obviously, hit the like button. Oh, he did it right away. Hit it again. Hit it again. Roll it. Get it through. I love it. We got to make it with a couple of different helicopter. This bombing run right now. But guys, thank you guys so much, as always, for joining us. We're looking forward to having a lot of fun. Hopefully next week I'll get this out and we'll do something else. I have a few things in the boxes, especially some of these high performance. So maybe we'll unbox a ME262, the high performance one, next week, or who knows what else will be coming. But guys, we'll think of something for next week. Thanks for joining. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy flying, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.